I gave her some treats earlier.
Sophie?
What's up, ABK? Michelle Brooks.
Michael.
Oh, I'm sorry, Michael Brooks. Dad, what's up, Dad? Listen, Juan Espinoza, Raul Long, Christopher, Nick Couch. Man, I appreciate all the love. Like, what's up, Khmer Shadow? It's I don't know how to express it, but it's pretty cool, you know. And I'm really glad to be back. I got kidnapped on the 1st of August, so I've been sitting in the county jail for the last month, fighting a few allegations. Mainly, one of them is just dirty for cannabis, and they try to put me in a drug program, but the drug program refused me because it's cannabis, right? And I don't have like all the criteria that qualifies as an addict. What's up, Al? Hey, man. Sorry about August 12th. Please tell Ty and everybody that shit just went south. They picked me up over here. Then they picked up the homie up there over in Hawaii. You know, they picked up Bryson in Hawaii. And it just, you know, like...
Don't talk about that because it'd be all
Hey, what's up, bruh? But, you know, you guys know, like, back in March, I hurt my back, right? And then when I went down to South Carolina again, I hurt my back. I went to the emergency hospital in South Carolina. That shit cost me $3,000 for the ER. I don't have insurance. I can't afford to go see the doctor. So there wasn't really any other way for me to like relieve myself of the pain. And yeah, maybe it's at the end of the day, let's just keep it honest. Like, I probably didn't have to smoke weed, but I wasn't left because I can't take the pain pills because the pain pill is gonna come out like I test out for opiates, and opiates would be like a harsher violation. So yeah, but they got the homie over there in Hawaii. They got him caught up. He's facing
6 to 9 months.
6 to 9 months. They say they ran up on him. They say he broke his phone, but during the time that his phone didn't work,
2 days.
For 2 days, just 2 days, his phone was broke. I guess his PO was trying to get a hold of him, and he didn't reply because his phone was broke. So they put a warrant out on him, and they ran up on him. And when they ran up on him in the house, he was with a couple other homies that just came home from prison. So he was with some other felons.
They said that he was trying to...
Yeah, but they were trying to charge him for escape, like he was trying to abscond. Like, how were you going to abscond to if you're just down the street at the homie's house, right? What's up? How's that? What's up, Melly? Man, but off the top, I appreciate you guys' support, and I'm sorry that I've been missing for the last 90 days. 'Cause 30 days. Because at the end of the day, it really don't matter what I'm going through. Because right now my life is not mine, and I have stipulations that's put on me that whether I agree with it or not, I have to abide by it because that's the rules. And they don't need a warrant. I mean, they don't need probable cause. They don't need me to catch a new case. They can come in and get me anytime they want. On the 1st, I was coming in my house. My kitchen is right behind me, and my door is right to my left, to my right. And my door was open. Came through, and out of the corner of my eye, I seen three rows of marshals. Two of them in front, got the shield. They're all suited and booted, and they're like, "Hands up, hands up, hands up!" Like for me, there was no, "Hey, thanks." Yeah, this shirt right here, my wife designed it. It's part of our. We got We're gonna finally get our website up. It's been rough, I guess. It just with the having enough money to hire people to do the things that we need to do, and the money that we need to put the merch up and stuff. But I'm getting it together. Every day is this. I'm just taking.
Website's in the works.
Yeah, the website is like maybe another week. We just trying to get all of our pictures, everything put together. My doggies, Kiki, my little pocket bully, she was like all over me for like 10 minutes. Like she was just jumping on me, licking my face for like 10 minutes. I just went in the backyard. So when I came home, I just went to the backyard, and I had my wife let them out to the backyard to see me in the backyard. And as soon as they saw me, they just came running up, and she's heavy. She's like 55 pounds. She's yeah.
But she been traumatized.
Yeah, and before my dog, she doesn't bark at nobody. I mean, she's cool. She's real mellow and friendly. But since that incident happened, when the marshals ran up on me, they came up through the door, 3 rows, had my house surrounded, had the street surrounded, had their guns out on me, and I went out. I put my hands up, like, "Hey, man, I'm good. Like, I'm not gonna be doing anything. I got my hands up. Don't shoot." And my doggy went out on the porch, and she just like started, and my wife had to come out and grab her, because these scary ass dudes, they might shoot her. You know what I mean? And I'm glad that everything worked out. Yeah, I got a violation. I got a hearing in a few months. Right now they're just, and credit to the judge that I didn't see my judge that sentenced me, Tina Campbell. I saw the magistrate, and credit to him. And I just want to give him a shout out. He's gonna give me, they sat me down for 30 days, but he's giving me an opportunity to get my act together. And just for just to have clarify everything. Like when I speak on, prosecutors, police, judges, if these people are worthy of my respect and they conduct themselves in a way that, I'm not here to slander anybody. If you conduct yourself with integrity and you're trying to work with me, and and I see that you're not just like F him, throw him away, lock the keys, I wouldn't be able to be, staying true to who I am, but trying to keep it real if I just slandered everybody out. But the people that I do speak on that I don't like, that I don't appreciate, is because in my experience they screwed me over. No, I didn't miss jail that much. Football. What's up, Mason? Man, kid, 1967 kid. Thank you. But the last 30 days, like, it was different this time. Like before I got sentenced 26 years, I didn't really think that I was gonna make it back home. And meeting my wife through that time, I wasn't out here with her, so I didn't really know what life was like out here. it was just something that I imagined, something that I hope. But being out here this last year, being able to, being married, being with my wife, my doggies, going to weddings and even funerals, but just being out here in the community, the last 30 days was a little different because it was just like, I enjoy, I'm not rich, I don't have, I'm not any, I have a very simple life. I work and I hang out with my family and my wife, but it's a happy life, like, and I just, I miss that. And, and I don't, and then, sorry, it just, but at the end of the day, it's my responsibility to do the things I need to do to make sure that I keep my act together. How did I feel when I saw the marshals? Nothing. I expected it. You know what I mean? Because the thing that I was upset about is I knew I had a violation coming from my PO. And I text my PO, I said, look, if you need me to come in, let me know. I'm gonna come in, I'm not going nowhere, I'm not gonna give you any problems, I'm willing to deal with the consequences of my actions. But he ignored me. So when he ignored me, I already knew that they were coming. And so I expected it. And like I said, I haven't done anything. Like, I smoked some cannabis. And I'm gonna make light of it because it is like we have two contrasting laws here. We live in a great United States. You have at least 35 states all across the United States that's legalized marijuana. Here in Utah, medical marijuana is legal. If you're a state prisoner coming out of state prison, you can get a medical card and you'll be all right. But the feds don't recognize it. And the thing is, I'm not smoking it because I'm trying to get high and kicking it, whatever. I'm at home, homie. I don't go hang out. I don't do none of that stuff. But, this is not me saying it, okay? This is the professionals, the therapists, the psychologists, and all these people that do surveys and have patients and all that stuff. They tell you after 6 months of being in prison, people come out with PTSD. People come out with, some loose screws or however you want to, call it. No, the feds don't honor the card. So if they tell you, like, okay, and I'm not trying to be racist here, but we're just gonna keep it raw. Like, if I came a well-to-do family, political family or whatever, lack for another better word, if I was a upper-class, rich white kid, they would be able to diagnose me and say, oh, he has this trauma, he has this, he has that. And maybe the courts would hear it. But I spent 26 years of my life. And I spent it in one of the most violent prisons across the United States of America. So, that being said, it's impossible for men like me, others that have been in my situation, to come home and not have the last 2 decades affect them psychologically. But me, that's still not an excuse. And I don't want to use that as an excuse. But we're just going to lay the cards on the table and just keep it real. Like these, you have these professors and all these people that, research this stuff. Years and years of research. and they tell you that it's not possible for somebody to do the time that I've done and not be able to come out and be 100%. You know, I didn't get a transition period. The halfway house denied me. For the time that I was supposed to got a year halfway house, but they refused me. They said my track record is too violent, so they refused me. I tried to go to the Colorado, and the people in Colorado refused me. So I ended up staying an extra year and then just thrown out to the streets. I'm coming from a lockdown facility. You know, the last 3 years that we were in Florence, we were locked down. So when you just throw somebody out there in the streets, you know, your senses get overloaded. But I don't know how to say that. I don't know how to tell my wife that I'm overwhelmed, or, you know, when I hear certain things, it triggers certain, you know, just think about, I've lived 26 years of my life in a heightened state. What I mean is all my senses has been heightened on overdrive. You know, you only have so much adrenaline and other chemicals that go through your body. Like, it's not an unlimited source of it. But I've lived my life in such a heightened state for 26 years. When you hear something, when you hear the chairs moving, when you hear the keys rattling, even though it ain't got nothing to do with you, even though you haven't done nothing, you get that burst of adrenaline because you associate those sounds with negativity. You associate those sounds with violence. You know, it's like when you go sit in a chair and somebody pulls a chair out from under you, you get that, you know. There's nothing you can do to stop yourself from feeling that, from getting that injection of adrenaline. So, 2 decades of being injected with that adrenaline on a daily basis. And then you come here and you already know you're safe out here. You know that there's nothing going on and you're cool. Like my wife, my brother and them, they took me to this Korean, what was that place where they were coming out with all the meat and stuff?
It was a Brazilian steakhouse.
A Brazilian steakhouse. I know nobody in the restaurant is trying to cause me any type of harm. I know I'm perfectly safe. Hey, Paul X, man, that's a lovely idea, man. Look, reach out to me on Messenger, because, you know, this is the kind of things I want to do. Say start a support group for people just getting out of, maybe meet once a week. I would love to do that. You know, I would love to build to, I don't even want to know if I can say I can guide, because I've been out here a year, right? And there's just still stuff that I haven't adjusted to, but I don't really speak on it because, one, I don't want my wife to worry. I don't want my family to worry. And, you know, in our generation, we grew up with like holding things in and dealing it with, you know, ourselves. And, but Michael Brook, but you know, like, okay, when I went to the Brazilian barbecue, you know, they come out with the steaks, the chicken and stuff on skewers, and you hear them the knives, and they're cutting the meat up in front of you and everything. I know I'm perfectly safe. There's nobody in there that's trying to cause me harm, but I don't have no control over how my body perceives that, how my mind perceives that. And I got to a point where, like, I don't even know what the hell anxiety is. You know, I've never experienced any of that stuff. And then, you know, I find myself like, you know, kind of like almost holding my breath just, you know,
5 years.
So what say? What would be the hardest thing that I had to adjust to? Okay, the hardest thing I have to adjust to out here is all these fucking scumbags, people that their word ain't no good, shake your hand, say they're gonna do this, say they're gonna do that, and you don't find them for months, you know, because they have the luxury of living in a city and they can hide out and stuff. I'm not used to that. You know, like me, I conduct myself a certain way. I live and die by the things I speak on here, by things I preach on here. And I've proven it. You know. Throw Mexican asked me, did I clean up the yard in the county as soon as I got there? No, my wife told me to keep my head down and don't worry about what anybody's in there for, right? So I didn't speak to anybody but my cellie.
But you can't even share honey bun in there.
Yeah, you can't. Hey, the county jail out here in Utah, in ADC, Salt Lake County Metro, is all the way sideways. Like you're locked down, but you come out, you better not share a honey bun. They're gonna lock your ass up, gonna write you up. You better not stand in front of nobody's cell. It's designed to protect all these busters, you know? And that's what I was gonna say. When I went back there, like, it's washed up, homie. When I went to court, you know, they put us in a holding tank waiting to go to court. We're shackled and belly change. Before we weren't. When you get in a holding tank, they take off your belly chain, you know. But like the system's right now, the system is set up to protect predators. They're set up to protect rats. They're set up to protect people that violate kids and people that violate women. And you know, my first time when I went to court, they put me in a tank, and there was like 3 dudes that just came from Pahrump. I guess Pahrump is a new federal holding where you can be housed there if you're a federal inmate. You go over there as a transit center waiting to go to prison. But it's open. You're walking around, right? So when I go in there, there's this guy in there that he has the stereotypical look of a sex offender. Like, you just look at him and the shit just oozing out of his pore that he's a sex offender, right? Well, he's complaining about the jurisdiction that the feds don't have over him. He's saying he's filed motion, like I'm just listening. He's telling somebody about how he's filing a motion about the feds didn't have jurisdiction, they shouldn't came up on him, he's been fighting his case for 2 years and stuff. Like, I already know what he's in there for. I don't even have to ask him. I can smell it on him. But I asked him. I was like, well, what is the jurisdiction that you're arguing? Like, well, they don't have no jurisdiction to come confiscate my laptop. And I'm like, okay, so what do you have on your laptop? Oh, they said I had child pornography on there. And I'm like, I knew it, right? So, but my thing is, he came on the bus from Pahrump. He been in Pahrump for 6 months. Been walking around in the unit with all these other two dudes that came with him, that was in the unit with him over there. They got tattooed on their face. They got the hood on their neck. You know what I mean? They got the teardrops, all that shit. But he's sitting in the unit with his dude that should be getting smashed. Now, if it was their kid, if it was their sister, their niece, their mama, yeah, they tear down the wall trying to get to him. But because it wasn't their kid, because it wasn't their mama, because it wasn't their sister or their nieces or nephews. You know, they just like, oh, whatever, right? Listen, I'm not the toughest dude out there, but I promise you, I ain't never had a known sex offender stay in my pod. Every single one of them dudes that ever came into my pod that I knew about or was hipped about on, I smashed them. You know, in the county jail. A dude come in there, it's like 1, 2 o'clock in the morning. They open the slider. You know, an old Metro is a Gladiators. Old Metro is 16, 14-man tanks. You got 8 tanks. Only one CO on the floor. You might not ever see that CO until it's count time or if your people got visits. Hi, Polly.
It's his woman.
Hi. How are you doing? Thank you.
They want to know what the best thing that you experienced is since you've been home.
Oh, the best thing I've experienced since I've been home?
Besides food.
My wife. What's up, man? He was over there at Waterway, right? Chief Nez. What's up, homie? Yeah, you know, jail and prison isn't the same. You know, in jail, there's really no politics. It's every man for themselves. When you get to prison, you know, it gets broke down to racial lines, gangs, and all that stuff, and everybody handles their own. While I'm in the county, you know, before I was fighting my case, heading out to the prison, COs used to put dudes in my tent and call me to the door and be like, hey, Rick. I said, what's up? I was like, hey, man, why don't you ask this dude what he's in here for? I already know what he's in here for. When they do that, so I go ask the dude. I say, hey, what you in here for? They're like, it's a misunderstanding. I was like, okay, where's your booking sheet? Oh, I ate it. Or I threw it away. But they always say they ate it. Like they ate their booking sheet. So I smash him. The CO puts him in my tank. He said, I'm going to go do my round. I smash him. 15, 20 minutes later, the CO come. He just opens the rack. He don't even come down to my tank. He opens the rack. And I just roll the dude out there. You know, when I was in Old Metro, like I was saying, at 2 o'clock in the morning, 1, 2 o'clock in the morning, this dude comes in there. He comes in there, me and homie Pika, Simone homie, you know, we up there talking and stuff. I was like, hey, what's up, homie? Hey, what are you in here for? And he's like, you know, when they start out the sentence like that, you already know, right? So I'm like, well, where's your booking sheet? He's like, oh, I ate it. I said, why would you eat your booking sheet? That's your player's card, right? And so when he says that, I'm ripping my sheet up. I pick my sheet off. You know, I got an extra sheet. I'm taking my sheet off because I'm going to tie this dude up. And the homie Pika, he's like, hey, we got to wait till the morning. He goes, it's too quiet. You know, if he screamed, they'll hear him, right? They'll hear it. So I said, all right. I just put it away. I put everything away. I wait till the morning. So the morning comes, we're having breakfast. And while we're having breakfast, the sergeant comes down the tier and calls the dude's name and say, hey, the marshals are here to expedite you back to whatever state that they arrested him, that whatever his case came from. So it's like, hey, yeah, have your stuff ready in about 10 minutes. When they come get the trays, be ready. So I'm like, damn, I'm not going to be able to get a chance to tie this dude up and punish him. So I go to the bars. You know, Old Metro is all bars. And there's an orderly out there in the morning pushing the broom. So I tell the orderly, hey, let me get that broom. So he takes the broom off and tries to give me the handle. But I was like, nah, I want the brush. You know, the brush is like this thick, this wide, and about 3 feet long, right? So the dude's packing up his stuff. I take that, I hit him right in the back of the head. Bah! And I kept hitting him until the shit broke. I mean, blood was everywhere. I got blood all over me. You know, the homie's like, hey, just go jump in the shower. So I go jump in the shower, clean myself up, whatever. When I come out, he's holding on to his bunk. He's got the sheet on his head, and the sheet is soaking up with blood. But it's just, I don't have any kids, you know what I mean? And I'm not perfect. I'm whatever you want to call it, criminal, thug, gangster, whatever. But when it comes to somebody just, abusing kids or forcing themselves on someone like that. Now, what if that was my kid? What if that was my niece? What if that was my nephew? What if that was my mom, my sister? That's how I look at it. So I come out of the shower, he's holding the thing over there, and I just went with the towel and kept beating him up, kept punching him, beating him, kicking him until the COs racked the door for him to come out, and I roll his ass out the tier, These guards don't like these busters. These guards don't like these sex offenders. But they're protecting them. Right now, you got Tucson, Arizona, USP Tucson. It's designated as a sex offender yard, where these people can walk around and be safe. Before, they would give you extra lunch. At mealtime, they would give you an extra tray when you punish these busters. When these dudes come on the line and they get gutted and get stomped out, the COs reward you. When you go to the shoe, the COs reward you. They give you extra trays and stuff. Now, they're trying to case you. Our society's gone so far from what is acceptable. What's up, Tim Shields, man? I'm glad to be back, man. And the reason why there's nothing I've read, there's nothing, I don't have any statistics or anything, any facts or anything like that. But in my opinion, the elites, these politicians, these rich, whatever, upper class, whatever people, the likelihood that they're gonna run up in a bank and rob it is next to nil. They got money. The likelihood that they're gonna be out here on the corner selling drugs is next to nil. But these crimes, robbery, selling drugs or whatever, is severe. The punishment is severe. It's decades. But when somebody violates a kid, when somebody violates a woman, there was a case out here in Utah when I was going to court. I don't know the dude, never met the dude, whatever, but I've seen it on the news. He had 13 something victims, underage girls that he'd been violating, right? From anywhere from unwanted touching to intercourse, right? 13 victims. The judge gave him 5 years probation, and part of the stipulation was for him to put up a sign on his house that says, "I'm a sex offender." That was his punishment for traumatizing and violating more than a dozen little girls, right? Now, the reason I believe that these crimes are not punished the way that we want them punished, the way we would punish them, is because these are the crimes that these people might be guilty of. That they're more likely to molest their kid. These politicians are more likely to, grape, oh, I've been shadow banned, so I'm trying not to get shadow banned. So I'm not gonna cuss as much anymore, and I'm gonna, follow the YouTube guidelines on certain words. But my point is that they might be, a percent, they're more likely to be guilty of violating kids and forcing themselves on women because, all those things come up with, has to do with being in power, being dominant, and, victimizing somebody, because, like, I don't understand it because I don't know how they think. But it's all about power. It's all about power structure, that you have somebody that can't defend themselves, somebody that's weaker than you, and you forcing yourself on them. So these politicians, these Jeb Epsteins and the likes, and all those people that got on the plane with them, that flew to the islands and all them with them. Like Jeb Epstein, they've been known he'd been doing that for years and years. He even got prosecuted down in Florida for it and got like a 2-year probation or something, where he had to go spend a weekend in the jail or something. And the reason that all the other stuff came about because a reporter took it upon herself to be like, hey, how did this dude get us such a sweet ass deal when he got this track record of violating all these freaking girls, underage girls? But the prosecutor gave him a sweet ass deal. The judge stamped it. Everybody tried to put it in the rug. Why? Because these crimes, this type of crime, they're more successful to it. So they don't want to punish that because they don't want to end up being on the guilty end and having to do the time, a minimum mandatory. You get a pistol, homie, 10-year minimum mandatory. So, but, so when I'm in the whole tank, I'm looking at these gangsters in there with all the tattoos on their face, with their hood across their neck. And they been sitting over there in Peru with this dude for the last 6 months, man. And I'm like, what? And really, I was kind of grateful that I was shackled and belly chained, because I might have got stuck in there for a little bit longer. I can't stomach that kind of stuff. And, football L4L, they do. They protecting people, man. They created prisons now. They've designated USPs to house these dudes. And for me, I don't understand it, and I can't comprehend it, and whatever, man, But going back to, the reason I got caught up. Yeah, Michael Brooks. That is the power that be. They're into that. Okay, let's just go right to Sound of Freedom. It's a movie about these child sex traffickers. I didn't know anything about it, but my wife put on some YouTube about all these journalists, CNN, and MSNBC, ABC, CBS, whatever, all of them. They were like, oh, this movie is, they're trying to make this movie like it's an issue, like this, they're trying to tell the public that this stuff is really going on, and trying to make it look like that there's really a child sex trafficking stuff going on. Well, so me and my wife was like, well, what the hell are they talking about? So we went to go watch the movie. Immediately. We were just like, man, let's go see what these guys talking about. Because, we seen some commentators that were critiquing these people on CNN and stuff. So the movie is about, it follows two siblings, a boy and a girl, that were caught up in the sex trafficking. Like, these people down there and wherever they were at set up like a model agency and told them, hey, they're gonna be a model and stuff. And the dad allowed him to go and be a model because he wanted to have a better future for their kids. and they say it was an opportunity for them to be able to go to college and earn money and all this and that. Well, it turned out they got sold. They got sold to the sex traffic, and the cop that went down there to investigate them to try to recover them, he set up like a little sting operation, like he was a predator, and wanted to have, like 50 kids brought to him. And these guys he's like, can you guys bring me 50 kids? And they're like, yeah, we can bring you 50 kids. And they round up like 50 kids, But this is a true story. They have videos, like real videos and pictures of the suspects that were into this kind of shit. So after I watched that movie, I'm like, well, why the hell these journalists, these anchors, and these newscasters and stuff, like bashing and slandering this movie? Like this stuff is real. Everybody knows you can go to Bangkok, Thailand, and get your freak on with whatever's your flavor. Well, you think them 5-year-old kids, them 8-year-old kids are volunteering themselves to be put in those places? Like, you got indigenous kids, indigenous girls, native girls that disappear every freaking month. You don't ever hear about it. Where do you think they're going? They look at all these are just poor native people. They're just runaways. But where the hell they run away to? So it's just, that's the one thing that it was the hardest thing that I'm getting used to, is the hypocrisy, and just, in there, it didn't matter because I'm just doing my time. I hear the news, whatever, it didn't matter. But I'm out here, it's just like seeing these people that they brush this kind of stuff under the rug. They act like it's not happening when it's happening every single day. That's why they sat you down. They said you're opening eyes, big dog. Yeah, and you know what? When I got locked up, right? When I got locked up, my wife called my attorney, and she's like, "Yeah, the marshals came in here freaking 30 deep, had my road blocked off, and they paraded me down the street. Like, they had a police car right in front of my house. They could have just put me in a police car, but instead, they walked me down 4 houses down the road. All my neighbors out. I live in Sugar House. Anybody that lives out here in Utah, they know Sugar House is called suburban. It's white, it's peaceful, it's lovely, it's a very nice neighborhood. I don't think they ever seen cops outside the one that lives across the street from me in this neighborhood. And now they got marshals and stuff blocking off the street, and they paraded me down, like 3-4 houses before they put me in a car. Like, for what? You trying to show my neighbors that there's a criminal that lives over here or something? So anyway, when my wife calls my lawyer and tells him that the marshals ran in on me for cannabis, he's like, what? It's like, I've never even heard of that, So I got a whole couple other people too that were trying to help me get out, and they're like, nah, man, like that's excessive. That's very excessive. And part of the reason that those people think that they came at me this way is right here, YouTube channel, and a little bit part of my history, but they don't like me out here. But the thing is, I have not said one lie out here. Like, on any of my videos, I've never fabricated, I've never exaggerated, any of that. And it's just, part of my agenda out here is, one, to entertain you guys, right? But really, the other is to open your eyes to, like, what's really going on behind the wall. And 3 is to let the public know that we're not all a bunch of scumbags. When you hear somebody that's been in prison, the first thought that comes to them, oh, he must be, somebody that violate kids, somebody that violate girls, and it's just all negative. Like, I'm not making excuses for the things that I've done. I mean, I could have went right instead of left, but I bought into something, and I believe that these are things that we do. If you gang banging out here or whatever, you got beef or whatever, you go handle it. You get money, you hustle, whatever. Like by no means do I try to present myself like I'm a good person or anything like that. I know the things that I've done. My objective is to maybe I don't know if it's make amends or make up for the things that, that I've done that. What is that?
What's that? Somebody just gave you money.
So I don't, I don't. That's a debate that I have with my wife. It's like, how can a good person do bad things? And how? So it's just, am I really? But regardless of that, I'm hoping that my stories will, one, help somebody, take a second look at their life. To let them know that what's awaiting them in this life. If you live this life, these are the kind of things that are awaiting you. But two, I really do want to change the public's perception of people like me. A lot of us, Mr. F, thank you. I caught my case back when I was 19, 20 years old. I'm 46 years old. I'm 46 now. And I'm not the same person that I was back then. But even though I had 26 years, I was still fortunate enough to be able to come home. I have friends out there. Hey, JB, man, thank you so much, bro. Much love. I didn't even know you could do that. I didn't even know you could do that. But I have friends in there that got triple life sentences, got life sentences, 65 years, 100 years. They're still being punished for the crime they committed when they were 18, 19 years old. I'm not saying we shouldn't go to prison for the stuff that we've done. I'm just saying give somebody a chance to get back. Especially if they, I don't want to say reform, because I don't even know what that word is. But we mature. We grow up, and the things that we might have been okay with when we were younger, we're not okay with now. But these gentlemen that are still locked up in there, they're not getting a chance to get back. They're not going to get a chance to make amends or do right. They stuck. They stuck because of something they did 30 years ago. And at the same time, just keeping it real, there's people in there that should never get out. There's people in there that's just fucked up in the head, and it breaks my heart to say that, but there's some people that don't want to change, that don't want to learn, and they don't give a shit. Like, they burn the world down. But there's so many of us, but just because there's some of those like that shouldn't be the reason why we kept shouldn't be the reason why we keep the other men in there. The men that want to come home, take care of their family, and do something with their lives, do something positive with their lives. Mm-hmm.
They asked earlier, what's your favorite thing you've been doing out here? Like hiking or skiing or whatever.
Man, my favorite thing out here that I've been doing, I guess somebody asked, sorry, I've just been going on and without reading the comment. Asked about what are some of the things that I enjoy doing. What my favorite thing is, man, is just getting to know my niece and nephew. I missed them when they were babies, and they're at the age now where they got a little attitude and they're picky with things, but it doesn't irk me. Like, I love it. I enjoy it, and as often as I can, I try to do things with them. I try to take them out and to movies or go sledding, whatever.
State fair's coming up.
Yeah, State Fair, Lagoon. Yeah, those, like, I really enjoy being around my nieces and nephews. Like, I don't have any kids myself. Not from lack of trying, but it hasn't worked out yet. But it will when it happens. But all right, El Blanco, man, have a great dinner, brother. But there's things I want to do out here, and I can't do them if I'm not out here. So at the end of the day, like, whatever stipulations. It goes. Oh, this is my I don't know if we can change it. This is this part of my merch. We just have it. We're just waiting for our website to. We're just waiting for our website to get finished. Like, we hired a website designer, and they've been working on it. So it should be. We're just waiting for the rest of our merch to come, because the people we have doing our stuff is in Pakistan, and there's a little bit of language barrier. So we're just going back and forth trying to get everything right before we put it out there. Like, this is a shirt that my wife designed, and yeah, I'm looking forward to that, and I promise you, I hope I'll be able to put it together soon. Is it way out of line?
Oh, are they having a little conversation?
All right, but but at the end of the day, man, like, my wife was reading me the comments while I was locked up about you guys inquiring where I was at, and just the love and the concern that you guys have. And I really appreciate that. The YouTube community is unique. It's something I've never experienced before. By all account, we're strangers. We don't know each other. But for you guys to extend love to me, I don't have the vocabulary to express my gratitude for that. Hey, what's up, Sheepdog? Hey, man. He's a former CEO from DC. When you hear me tell you stories about, and I'm going in on the CEOs, how fucked up they are, those are just the ones that's fucked up. I've met plenty of CEOs that come to work, that are respectful, that are men. Like, I have CEOs that been with me in other prisons that's reached out to me to holler at me since I've been home. And these dudes, I go have a beer with them. I mean, I can't drink alcohol because I'm on probation, but men respect men, And like, when I share my stories with people, the stories that I share are, from my experience, from my perspective. And I pay homage to the people involved. It's not to put them out there or anything like that. Somebody that's earned my respect, somebody that's worthy of respect. Like, I always try to tell you guys, like, whether we agree or not with the life choices that these individuals made, these are soldiers. These are men that's live and dying by the code. And I feel that it should be, I pay homage to them. But at the same time, if you're a buster, you're a buster. I'm going to put you out there. Fuck you and your mama. You know what I mean? You got a problem with it, fuck you. But I mean, it's just, I'm just telling you how it is. And like I said, I met plenty of COs, that I've asked that they would come on here and interview with me. And, when I get to their stage, I will, because there's COs that don't really like these other COs that put their lives in jeopardy. There's COs that come there that are respectful, that do their job. I mean, if you leave a knife hanging out, if you leave your dope hanging out and they find it, that's on you, man. They still got to do their job. It's the ones that come and do extra shit that, you know, that pokes the bear, pokes the bear, pokes the bear. But then he goes home. And the next guy comes on the shift, you know, he's got to sit in a unit with all the dudes that he's already aggravated. And now it just might be wrong timing, wrong day, wrong word said, and then the dude snapped. But here's an innocent CO that's taking the blunt of it because the dude that was on the shift before was a punk. You know, and there's COs that understand that. Like, hey man, you're putting our life in jeopardy by the way you conduct yourself. Like there's a CO, Roger, in USP Florence. This is verbatim coming out of his mouth. He had gotten into it with a kid from Baltimore. Because the Baltimore dude's like, hey man, why the fuck are you fucking with me? Like, I'm a man. He's like, oh, I don't see you as one. I don't see you as my equal. This is the shit he says out of his mouth. And we're like, huh? Like, where do they teach you that? Like, why do they train you in that way? Yeah, thank you, Sheepdog. Yeah, you've been in CO, you already understand, like, most people that's locked up, we're not there to give the CO, the staff problems. We're just trying to cope with our time, with the decades that we're doing. And, you know, there's only so much you can take. Like, when you kick somebody, disrespect somebody so often enough, they're gonna snap, especially when they know that they haven't done anything to deserve, you know, your spite, you know. Yeah, man. And I, you know, just like this man right here that's commenting, the Sheepdog, like he's been there, he knows. So like, you know, I'm not trying to, never am I ever trying to paint a broad brush on any group of people, whether that's judges, prosecutors, cops, or anything like that. If you're a dick, homie, I'm gonna call you out. And if you're somebody that's worthy of respect, I'm gonna give it to you. Yeah, man. Like, you know, there's stand-up dudes in there. We're in jail because we out here trying to eat. You know, we out here trying to eat in the best way we know how. You know, a lot of people in jail they're not coming from well-to-do families, you know, political families, the elite. Most of the people that are in jail come from low-income families, from projects, from ghettos, from neighborhoods infested by gangs. And they're just trying to eat in the best way they know how. And we get put in there. But we're not scumbags. Any CO I ever got into it with, that I ever disrespect, he had it coming. There's plenty of COs that's been around me that know, man, I conduct myself, there's no reason for me to disrespect anyone just for the sake of disrespecting someone, you know? Okay, what's up? Cool Mike, LK, Land King. Appreciate you, brother. Thank you, Dingleberry. Oh man. Yeah. You know, again, like, I really appreciate all the love that you guys extended me, man. And I'm trying to get my all this stuff put out there, my website out there, so that I can invest more of my time to bring you guys content. Like, I want to be able to start interviewing people that just come home and get their story and let them share their stories and let them share their experience with you guys. And anybody that's out there that's done time with me, man, reach out to me, holler at me. You know, as soon as I can figure out this Zoom shit, we'll get it cracking. And
we'll be back on Florence tomorrow.
Yeah, I'll be back at Florence USP tomorrow, man. Thank you guys so humbly for tuning in it's like you guys are the best. I don't have the words to express my gratitude. It's very humbling, and thank you for all your well wishes, man. Okay. Have a good night. Thank you so much. How do we turn it off?
Actually, tell them they can hit you up on Facebook.
Yeah, you guys can hit me up on Facebook. Hit me up, message. Just let me know you can hit me up from YouTube, because I've been getting a lot of scammers. I've been accepting a lot of friends, and these dudes be trying to get $20, $30 out of me every day. You know, I almost fell for a couple of them, right? But man, you're welcome. You already know my name, Mason Rid. I don't go by anything else.
Got 2 channels.
I got 2 Facebooks. One has my BMA logo on it, and the other one is my other one. But you know, I have a hard time going back and forth between them. But I check them, and yeah, just hit me up, man. I appreciate the love, and tomorrow we'll be back to Florence, and I'll get back to work. All right. Thank you so much. Tune in. See you guys tomorrow. Peace.